When did you first learn about the idea of an open relationship?
Well, I actually heard of polyamory about a couple of years before I started making the film, back in '94, when I met someone who, at a conference, a TV conference of all things, nothing to do with polyamory, who I thought was really quite interesting. At that time, I was kind of dating David on and off, and but this person was very flirtatious and interested, and I was interested, but I found out he was married, and I was confused. I thought he was trying to cheat on his wife, and he said, "Oh no, my wife knows, that we have this kind of relationship. It's where we can have other partners," and I was skeptical. I said, "Do you want to call my wife?" I was like, "Well, I'm not sure about that. Let me think about it." And I looked it up and heard that, found out there was this word polyamory and people who believe this. And at the time, I kind of filed it away for future reference, but didn't really get into that kind of relationship until a little bit later. But I had heard of it, so I knew it was out there.
And when you first brought up the idea of polyamory with David, did you believe at the time that it could work, or was it just sort of a social experiment?
You mean that other people did, that we wouldn't try ourselves? Did I believe it could work? I'm trying to think now. No, I knew there were people who did it. Did I think that we'd be one of them? Pretty soon after, I think we did. I think that's one of our. I did try to go out with more than one person. And in the past, it had happened where I felt strongly about two people, and earlier on, I had, but I felt I had to break up with one of them. It just wasn't fair. So I kind of had an inkling that this might work for me. That this made sense deep down. That it was a possibility. Perhaps David wasn't convinced so for quite a while.
Was there ever a time in your past, in the early phases when you first started dating, where the idea of polyamory really did not appeal to you?
Well, when we first started dating, this is back in 1991, I knew nothing about polyamory, and I just was kind of, as most people are, I guess, serial monogamists. You are with someone until either you're not, until it doesn't work out, or you meet someone that you think might work better, and then people, kind of hop to another partner. I mean, it sounds cruel, but it doesn't, not literally like that, but they start getting interested in someone else, and the original partner gets a little less interesting, and so I guess I was kind of typical that way. But I did early on dating David, what started, someone else was very interested, and I had this confusion, even then, over, now I had two people I liked, and what do I do? Well, I at that time I said I better stick with David, because we've been going out for 6 months already, and, it's kind of unfair to, I guess, to switch like that.
Right.
But because I knew that I didn't, think there was any way you could see two people, even if they were both great guys, or great, depending if you're straight or not, but... Anyway, so I guess early on, the first couple of years, I just thought that I was kind of defective, so I just couldn't do monogamy properly. Some people might still say that if they're very firm believers in monogamy, I suppose. There's a funny, just a really quick thing, but we didn't end up using it in the documentary, but we did sort of a kind of a cocktail, discussion with two couples who were married at the time, who were both very, one couple was very staunchly monogamous, and the other couple was kind of questioning us quite heavily. One person was interested in non-monogamy, the other wasn't. But they were people our age who were married at the time. And the funny thing is, we just were reflecting today that of those three couples, we're the only ones still together, and the monogamous couples aren't. That's kind of a funny thought.
Well, that actually is, that's a common story where people in alternative lifestyles can actually make something last longer than those who follow a traditional monogamous path. And it does not mean that monogamy is wrong, or that it doesn't work as well, because there are monogamous couples who stand the test of time.
Sure.
But it is interesting that those people who will claim that, there is that only one path, that one way, don't seem to be able to do any better than those who try alternative methods.
Yes, that was kind of, I guess, our point at the time, was that, that there isn't necessarily one model that works for everybody.
You're listening to Frank Talks Pleasures and Lifestyles, and we'll be back right after this.